Good morning. Let's do a Saturday morning shop update. So this is the UwU, and we got an order for one more, which I'm going to call I think we called it the Chubby UwU or the UwU Extreme. It's basically another 3-inch. I'm hoping to fit 6 slugs, but basically it's the 220. It's the bigger slugs, bigger diameter. So this was a recycle of a motor that I had, or I should say a magnet stack that I had laying around that I was just sick of looking at. But I'm not going to throw it away. So that was it though. But this is the one with the def bonds, and this one is almost done. So we did double spiders on this one to stiffen it up a little bit because he wants to, like your mom's butthole, he wants to beat it up a little bit. Ash came up with the side terminals, which I hope are good, but I have some. I went ahead and just broke down on this last order with loader base and just ordered some round terminals until the shipment comes in for the other ones. Beefy 10. We're doing some Vato quad stack extremes today. This was a kit that I made that got some glue drips. There was one glue drip there. I think Ash forgot to do the bottom, so I'm going to do the bottom today. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So the client's going to end up getting this one for free, because what am I going to do with it? This was the American base conversion. I have, I think, 4 left. They're only 150 bucks. Basically, it's like a 500 watt sub with a 3-year warranty. We had to add a little bit of mass to get it down to in the low 30s. They sound great, and we have the wraparound gaskets for those. This is the Genius. This is like the 3rd recone attempt. You can see the multiple grindings. I thought we were going to do this as an SPL. Turns out we're going to do it as a daily, so we had to take off the stiff spider, and we ended up doing these as daily. This one is actually for sale. I just got to glue down the surround. This is an RE. I want to say it's the original SE, but it's yeah, the original SE is a God damn it, I can't remember now. The original SE is a 3-inch coil, which is what this is, but it's a smaller stack. Like it's not as broad, wide on the magnets as the SX. So this one is for sale. This one we could do for like $150 local, and then probably like $180 shipped. I can't remember if this one. I think it's D2. If I remember right. Anyway, we'll do a video on that one as well. This is Robert's Rockford T2. We did double web shooter spiders, and they are bolted to the frame. Cap is done. I wanted to do a little bit bigger than normal cap, and then we're going to do a Rockford decal on there, probably the red one. I want to do the white one so that it pops off on the stitch so it matches, but can't always get what you want. This one is finished. This one was a Sumo, I think. The guy killed it, and we rebuilt it. Oh, this one's for sale. This one was a DS18, so we processed it and got it done. It is we did it as a dual 2 EXL DS18 EXL XX B15 D2. I like that frame though. That looks cool. Just a regular 8-inch, but kind of a stiff spider. I made it kind of SPL-y. Let's see what else. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So before I put it back together. So there was a little bit of confusion. Let me go over this real quick. Made some notes. All right, so both of these are, well, I don't want to say they're popular, but they are fan favorites, I'll say that. This is the MA Audio HK. Let's see if they got there it is. So we went through the gap dimensions. So this is a little bit of an audio guts video. ID is 75 millimeter, OD is 84 millimeter. You can obviously see that this is super Chinesium. The magnet stack is 8.75, also known as 225 millimeters. The bolt hole circle is 127. Because it has this extra little giant nipple to increase the gap, that was a little one. What I do is I often put spacers, and I'm going to do double spacers on this one. This is from my buddy, I think Joseph in New Mexico. And he burned it, he got it really hot, and I went ahead and zapped it again just to make sure that it was still in good shape. And I think we're doing the, oh, that's right, we're doing a white 12 spoke, and it's the newer B version that, like, I think, is it Phi? I think Phi and DC both use it, but it has a little bit of a lip, so you can fit a little bit deeper cone in it with an 8-inch spider, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make it a little bit stiff, but I'm going to still use copper, and because he wants to use it in free air. So we're going to rattle can the 12 spoke frame, get that done for him today. Double spacers, mostly so that cross ventilation can get maximum cooling when you have that up there. I think there was only, yeah, this is the MA Audio HK, and it's 2 by 25 millimeter slugs. So 2 1-inch slugs. Pretty hardy. People really like this. I love making 12s out of these. This is the Bele motor, B-E-L-E, Bele. It has 2 of the 20 millimeter slugs. Patrick, why are you comparing these 2 motors? I think they're from the same build house, mostly because of the shape of the pole, or the T-yoke, I should say. So I was like, I recognize that butthole, but it's similar. But you know, any build house can copy another build house. It's not difficult. So one thing that I found interesting about this one, let's go over the specs real quick. ID is 74.8, OD is 84 millimeter. It has both the 127 bolt hole circle and the 110, and I'll show you why in a minute. The magnets are 212 millimeter or 8 3/8. This one uses a lot more of imperial standards, which I noticed on the gap and the magnet slugs. That doesn't mean it's not Chinese. It just means that they just used those particular ones. Sometimes you got to understand, when you're doing manufacturing, you're not always in charge. And a lot of times, if you work with the factory, you're like, well, what do you have available? You're right, because young guys, me included, or I should say newbies, me included, often make a request and they go, we don't have that, or it's a different factory. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes a factory will just specialize in a certain woofer, or they have certain parts, or they have certain hookups, or whatever it is. And the particular factory that you contacted, they're like, well, we can do something similar. You know, basically the same way that when people ask me for a custom sub, I'm like, we can do something similar. Because again, it depends on what's in stock and what's available. And also, it boils down to price and how long you're willing to wait. So I ended up having to do a refund, which I don't normally do. But the guy was real angry, and I don't want anybody angry at me. And I'm just like, I'd rather just not deal with him. So am I going to make payments? Yes. But, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do. But let me show you the top assembly for that one, the frame. For some reason I got confused. I wanted to do an Orion HCCA remake, and we got some of these frames done in the hammered red for a couple of different clients. I got a couple of different frames done. It ended up costing me way too much, but it's like, sometimes you want to do nice things like that for people. Again, I'll try to manage your requests as best I can when I can. I can't always do that, or I can't always do it in a timely manner. But I'm trying to do better. But here's the original Bele dual frame. And as you see down there, it's got the 110 bolt hole circle for the smaller 10-inch frame. And so you actually have to get in there. I think I got in there with a little ratchet and got those bolts out, which turned out to be the wrong thing to do, because he wanted to use this frame. I'm like, why would you want to use this frame? And he's like, I want to use that frame. I'm like, okay. So it had like a 1-inch spacer on it. I pulled that off. What do you know? The Gonzo cone fits. So, and it looks pretty rad. So we're going to go that route. So I got to put this back on. But I wanted to show you, all they did was an adapter. I think this is kind of dumb. But the way that you have to get in there is they put a little peeky hole. So you have to push your finger up in there to get the access to the terminals. So difficult, but, you know, manageable. But yeah, this is just a piece of, usually it's aluminum. I think this one made, I can't really tell. I think it's probably aluminum, just because it's cheaper, but sometimes they do them out of steel. Typically, you don't want to put anything that's steel that's not in the gap. but steel is actually cheaper. So sometimes the adapters that I've seen from NCA Labs, which they did for Memphis, were steel. So if somebody wants to correct me, fucking correct me. But I remember them being steel. So let's see, what else do I want to show you? Oh, custom magic bass for my buddy up in Oregon. We're gonna do its own video on this one. This is exactly what he wanted. He wanted the 20 spoke frame. This is the Serwin Vega VMAX motor. I forget what he asked for, whether it's D2 or D4, but whatever it is. And then of course this cap was actually made for this cone, so it ends up nice. We ended up using the fat gasket just because it looked a little bit better. The regular TC Sounds gasket wasn't quite covering enough. This fat gasket is also used on the 12 spoke frame, so which is slightly wider than the standard 4 spoke. I will be doing the TSPs on this one. I'll be putting the Gonzo green decal on there. TSPs for that one today as well. I have this RE Audio SE. The newer SE, which is, this is the SEX, is a 2.5 inch copper coil. Not that it's bad, it's just, I think it gives it a little more kick. I'm still not a fan of the floating leads, and then they just put carpet on the back so you can't hear it slapping. But it keeps the price down only by like $1 or $2. I don't think it's worth it. And I also don't like these Torx terminals. Please tell Wang Hai that set screws are a mistake. They're time consuming. You lose the screws. Many people over tighten them, and especially when you use it with aluminum wire, it ends up pinching off the wire. It's not a good way to go. If he wants to do 4-gauge terminals, that's fine on the new Recoil subs, but tell him to use spring terminals. Oh, I had a client bring this in yesterday, so we're gonna do a refoam real quick, and this one's going out to Joshy boy. So it's perfectly good. It just needs a new surround. So, excuse me, ma'am, can I poke your fat? So, but that guy, he is trading it for these. I don't know which one I'm going to use. This one is the triple stack from 3-inch coil. I think it's called the LV3 from lower to base. And then also this is a double stack, I think from Rockville K9. Also 3-inch coil. But I'm going to build them both out for him and then let him choose at the end of which ones he wants. He's running a Kicker CXA 1200.1, which is the new 1200.1 that's 1 ohm stable. So we're going to do dual 2. Oh, I wanted to talk about these for a sec too. I have these posted for $100 retail. If you're doing resale, we're actually going to do them for $50 each, but you got to buy 5 or more at a time. And I think that, of course, retail on them was probably about $2 or $2.50. But it's the MTX REQ5, also known as the Cinco or El Cinco. They also make a 2-channel version, but this one was the best, and this is the one they had the best deal on. So it's got basically an epicenter built into it, and I think 4-channel LOC, and then it has subwoofer output, and then you can vary the subwoofer, and then you can also vary the bass restoration feature on it for whatever you want. Does that make sense? Let's see. I got this MTX set up I told you about. These are the 0.7 ohm wired in series. And then I'm pairing them up with the always classic, always beautiful, always sounds great Boss Armor series. This is just a Class AB 300 watt amp, but it sounds much bigger than you would expect. Izzy was able to do some cleaning and straightening this week, so she got things labeled for me. We got a whole bunch. Those are all the subs that passed testing, so those are all for sale. Typically right around $50 each, depending on what it is. Some of them had broken terminals, but they still work. I just got to replace that. I was going to show a video on that, but it's actually pretty simple. You guys just drill that out. It's an aluminum pop rivet, and then you can just resolder. Put the pop rivet in the new one on. Or you can even add or change it to spring terminals if you choose, if you have those. So, but again, it's just a fun little quick video. But I don't think you guys are really that interested in it. You guys are more advanced perverts. They just love other base stuff. These are all the coaxials that tested good. Let me see. We also have some of the fancier stuff in the box. We still got skateboards, $50 each, with grip, shipped. And if you order 5 or more, we'll do them at $40 each. How's that? So that'd be 200. Yeah, 200 bucks for 5 decks, shipped with grip. That's a pretty good deal. Oh, yeah, I wanted to do a video on the Mr. Music Man. I got a pair of 15s in with a big ported box from Mr. Oscar himself. Oh, that's Pat Coble. I got to ignore his phone call for a minute. These are 2, I think they're probably like 1500 watts each. And then the guy that I traded for, he's the one that I traded the JL Audio 12W7 with the blue frame, which obviously, according to Drew Jones, nobody makes better than JL. I was like, okay, whatever. Thanks for your opinion. You're full of such good opinions, and you're such an honorable person. Mr. Music Man, Ear Candy, EC 4500 1D. This is what was used on those, but you can use this for whatever you want. This is also for sale. I think Oscar used to sell these for like $449. I could probably do like 300, which is a steal on this one. It's a very good amplifier. Those are some of the ones I did a video for a while back that we had. For some reason, I'm not able to get through that contact anymore. I think they went out of business, or at least I think they were the marketing company. I don't think they were the actual factory. So, but it was the marketing company. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I'll do an amp guts or audio guts on this Cliff Designs that I picked up. I owe this guy, I think he's on heroin. He was not in good shape. But Cliff Designs CD, I don't know if you can make that out, CD 60.2LX. It's just a 2-channel Class AB. Most people are going to use it for subs or whatever, which is fine. I want to open up and see the guts, but it's fused for 80 amps, and so it does probably a good 800 watts conservative. And it's for sale. I forgot also I have this one, Prime R300X4. This one is 150 bucks shipped. Did I already say? No, that's not the, I think I already sold that one, the PBR. Oh, I found out that this one was a 4-channel. So if anybody needs the 4-channel, I can do it cheap, like 100 bucks or something like that. Or whatever market price is. I'll probably do it for 80. There's also some amps I wanted to test. Oh, and if anybody has any leads, I want to find a replacement for this butt kicker amp. So everybody loved this one. I would love one that's actually 1 ohm stable. And I'm thinking it might be best to, I'll probably do my own video on this one. It was the BKA 1000-in as in November. But this is not a full chassis size, but I would love to have a full chassis adapter for full rack with handles. It uses a linear power supply, and then I think a Class D output section. The filters are pretty kind of basic. I would love to add a parametric equalizer. Basically take a plate amp, but put it in a tabletop chassis. And then uses the volume control. I don't know if they did the red ones, but that's where it starts to clip. I would also love a clipping indicator as well. Maybe one of those tricolor LEDs that Rockford Fosgate first came out with in the 90s. Then I think that guy went over to ADS and did it with ADS amplifiers. Oh, yeah, here's the boxes that we got from MTX. They're new, but they're old stock, and so they have like, I don't know what to call it. It's like a slightly greasy texture, which I think is just like age, warehouse juice. I don't know what to call it. But I have a ton of those, and then we're going to put a lot of the jackhammer subwoofers in those and then just sell them locally. There's that steel that I got from, who was it? Oh, I can't think of it was the Tool brand name. But anyways, this is like branded with their brand. It's fucking awesome. I've got some copper and some amps from yesterday. I think I showed you guys this. Steven's been extra nice with the box of goodies. This is all returns that they like. If the labels are stripped off like this, they can't really repackage it. And like you open it up and there's only like one terminal, but If you guys want a bunch of stuff like this, just make an order and then we'll include some of that stuff. Usually I like to just throw it in there for free, so you guys are like, hey, Patrick loves me. I only love you if you take my loads, so take my dirty junk loads and we can share the love. These are the hammer red frames. Izzy was putting them together. I did a couple of them. I think, no, that's the American base one. I did a JLW6 in red, and I think I did the, here's Tim's motor sent this back. I'm gonna go ahead and grind this off and then just clear coat it. This one was made from the SD steel from Sundown. So if anything is a UwU, Sundown UwU, it would be this one. So if somebody wants me to build something for them, let me know. So as you can recognize this. So, but I had the guys at the machine shop trim it up a little bit. And then if you have a really long coil, even being negative like this, below the gap is fine because you're not gonna pull it out of the gap. Let me see what else. Oh, I'm waiting on parts for this one, this build. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but it's the new red surround. It's the 6 series cone mega roll from Lord of Bass, and then he got them done in red foam. Got a couple of shifts. That's that ZV5. That thing's fucking massive, dude. But why Jacob didn't put bolts through it, I don't know. He wanted to save $5, I guess. Or he thinks you guys are dumb enough just to buy it the way it is. I don't know. I don't know. Those are getting done. Those are those other American-based ones. Those sound really good for home or car or for DJ. Let me go through the shop a little bit more. If you guys see something too, just like let me know. Those are the Lafaggy 12s. I haven't really built a lot of those. I want to build them in my spare time, but we were waiting on coils from China, which I got in D4, but we wanted to build out the P3s first, just because it's a brand recognition, and you know, people don't know any better, so they just they prefer brands over other stuff. It's all my W7 stash. So those are all worth repairing or rebuilding. I'm not selling the parts. I'm going to do rebuilds on those actually, because a lot of people lately have been coming around and be like, can you fix this? And I'm like, I just charge some what I think is disgusting number, but they want it, and JL charges double of what I'm asking. So I don't feel bad. I really don't want to do them, but I'll do them. See, sometimes I am a whore. You guys like that, huh? Like, well, you know, be nice to me. If you're gonna jizz on my face, just like let me know. You're like, hey, I'm gonna jizz on your face, and you're like, all right, like let me participate. Don't like just cunt. Don't call me a cunt. I mean, you can, but you get like give me like an extra $50 or something like that. I don't know. I think that was it. Oh, I have this version 3 motor as well. If you guys want me to make another 15 out of that, that's the W6 V3. And then of course I have those 2 frames, the AE frames available. I'm not going to touch those. You guys really like those. They're so valuable. There's some more of the blue frames that we did. I think that's the 12 W7 and then 10 W7. I think I'm going to take them back and get them trimmed up a little bit more. Again, since the boys, oh, I gotta take this stuff over to the boys right now. Well, fucking Ryan Buck said he was coming over, but he hasn't come over. He's supposed to, I told him that I would give him a subwoofer to swap out, like just for temporary until I could get his big T2 made. He wants a 12-inch made on the T2 motor, the new T2 motor. And I made him, I think it was a ZV4 with this frame, with this Phoenix Gold titanium frame. So sort of like that. So it's very similar. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually only a quad stack, but it looks very impressive and it's very tall because of the frame. And so, but I told him I would swap him out, this one as a temporary until we could build him that T2, which I still got to put the top plate on, and it's live. I don't really like that. Also, I have this vacuum for sale. I don't think I'm ever going to use it. $300 for this one. It's meant to be a whole house vacuum, like where you put it down in the basement, and then you have all those terminals, like you have a master switch and you turn it on. It's like one of those for those fancy houses. Usually they're about $1,000. This one works great. I think it runs on 220, and it's only $300. So I was going to use it in the shop here. That was better. I was going to use it in the shop here, but I don't do that much woodwork, and it's not really, I mean, it's dusty, but it's not worth really putting that in and all the installation work behind that. I think there's a couple of DII series amps that I wanted to review. Oh, and then I was at Recoil. We did the shipping container on Thursday. There wasn't really anything worthy of making a video over. I did want to let people know that the DII, what is it called? 3300.1, the little Brazilian, Class D. I got yelled at for selling them for $215. They're still on the website for $220. It says none are in stock, but we got like half a pallet in, so there is plenty for the distributors. There's plenty for resellers. You can buy them for $220 from Recoil. You just got to yell at them and tell them to update their quantities on their website. In fact, I'll send an email to Monica right now for her to update that. But they are available if you want to pay with your credit card. If you still want to do the deal with me has been very popular. Basically for $250, I do the 0 gauge wire kit included with it. So typically the 0 gauge kit, I think, is right around $50, $60. Again, I don't want to apologize for the prices changing so much on the website. I don't control that. But it is frustrating for me as a reseller, and also for other resellers that have been bringing in when the prices change like that. Again, I think the best thing is just to base your local pricing on the performance and then come down from there. If people really do their research and are, I found, was it Jizz Top Gear or whatever the fuck the name of that, no-name brand on Amazon is, I can get a Top Gear solid for, whatever, $89. And you go, the best thing is to tell them no. You just go, well, then go buy that and install it yourself. Remember that you're the hot chick in this situation, okay? Just because they want to give you money doesn't mean that you're a whore, okay? And also, just because you're buying a whore doesn't mean you got to be mean to that whore, all right? The sex workers are people too, both literally and figuratively in this representation that I'm talking about. So, and I'm talking about me. If somebody just comes in and they have a bad attitude and they just think that I can be purchased, I'm like, bye. Because again, I've already been down that road, and that is nothing but heartache and high expectations. And it's not even the abusive part. Again, I grew up in an abusive household. It's not a big deal for me to handle that kind of thing. What I don't like is all the baggage afterwards and the repeated abuses and all that. And I'm like, I don't need that. I'm a grown up. I don't need to be abused by another grown man. I don't know, unless you want to do butt stuff or something like that. But anyways, I also have these, I think these are XFLs. So, and I wanted to do a review on, I bought a kit from American Bass, and I contacted Bob. Bob usually doesn't respond anymore. He used to respond years ago. This is probably 10 years ago. I was interested in all their dead subs, but they do refurbs, and I think I blow them out on eBay. To me, they're not really discounted that much. It's a little bit, but I'm interested in the ones that are shifted and just like completely fucked. Those are the ones I'm interested in. But I did notice that they sell recon kits. I was scrolling through Facebook, and they have a Facebook store integrated into Facebook, and I thought it was interesting because it was an easy way for me to shop. Let me move this stuff. So I started looking through some of their things. See, like if it's totally fucked like this, that's what I'm interested in, or stuff that's shifted, things like that. That's what I want to put together, and that's valuable to me because also you're only competing with the dumpster. So, and if you're gonna jizz in a dumpster, jizz in my dumpster. That's all I want to say. Somebody was also asking about the Vato Supreme. This is the Vato Supreme, or this is one version of it. I'm actually gonna flip this on the final ones that I'm building for you, mostly because the slugs on the inside are of wider diameter. I did them this way up because I was doing multiples, and so we did all these. Some of these were like the ID on the magnets were like 3-inch, and so it wouldn't accommodate this. In the past, I've had the boys skin this up to about there and left it there, so that way we could fit it in there, but I didn't want to do that this time, and so we just did it with the nipple out. And again, it doesn't affect anything. It's just the way that you got to center it. But again, we're going to do these flipped so that the top plate, it will be flat. The bump will extend the gap a little bit into the motor. These are the 220s. So, and they will be in that condition when you get them, which is used. If you want to touch them up with paint, that's up to you. But again, we're doing a 12 with, I wanted to experiment a little bit with some of these frames. So we have the beefy one. I don't know what the name of the series of this one is. We can do this one though for the same price, which is $300. Mostly what I want to do is, $350 on that one. But what I'd rather do, oh, that's right. I wanted to show you the things. This one. So, and then I do 1 or 2 bearing spacers to bring it up a little bit to, again, accommodate the cross flow when it's mounted in there sideways or something like that. Again, you should be putting a support yoke underneath these. These are very, very heavy. This is just aluminum. It can and will break, so don't do that. But that's an 8-inch spider with a 2.5-inch coil. It will get probably right around, 3-inch excursion, especially if we can get some shallow big roll cones to accommodate the excursion on those. I think I did that in the original Vato Supreme. Oh, somebody was also asking about the name Vato. So the name Vato is actually based on Jacob Fuller's work with his best-selling SA, the sexual assault subwoofers. Those were based on a 2.5-inch copper coil, 7-inch spider, and he used to make an 18-inch version that had a triple stack. And when I opened it up, I was like, this is it. This is the best seller. Now, at the time, it was like really affordable. They were selling them for like $100. And not the 18, but like the 12s and the 10s. And I was like, let me see what I can do with this. And so I just started experimenting with it and playing around. And I had some old copper coils from the Dyer buyout from Dan Wiggins back in like 07. And it was a really good performer. And the coil on that one was, I think, 50 millimeter. But now we're doing the 60 millimeter. But anyways, it's based on the SA. So if you know Mexican culture, some of the things that carnales say to one another is, what up, SA? And so I thought, why not call mine the Vato? So mine is called the Vato. And then we have the Vato Extreme, which is the triple stack. Over here, I'll show you that. So, which is basically a copy or a very close approximation of the 18-inch Sundown SA that Jacob used to make. I don't think he makes it anymore. Certainly not in the SA Classic. So he does the new 2 3/4 on the SAV2. But this is the first Vato Extreme. It got really heavy excursion. Typically we use a 40 or 45 millimeter copper coil on this. You can use, because it uses an 8-inch spider, you can use the 60 millimeter. I don't think it will, I think the spider limits it from bottoming out, but I still like to use the copper coils on these. So I'm doing a 12 for that one. This pair is already sold. And then he's also doing a white frame, but we're putting spacers on those. But that was the Vato Extreme. And then we did the, or no, yeah. Okay, so, God damn it, I gotta get this straight. So Vato is dual 1-inch slugs. That's the original one. This is the Vato Extreme, and then we did the Vato Extreme Quad Stack, which is this one. And then this is Vato Supreme. So 220 millimeter slugs. And those are American-made crucible from the Volcano buyout. As you can see, I did my calculations yesterday. This is about 10 woofers, 10 of those quad stacks. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Actually, I can do 100. So we can probably do 100. I think I wanted to save a little bit for some experimentation. And also sometimes I get like motors in that need the ferrite replaced. But we'll see. I think that was it. This one is still available. I don't remember what hole circles are on here. It's pretty wide. This is the Mofo frame in translucent green with a white base. You can do either a white base or a sparkly silver base. Here it is. I think this is the one from Loader Base. But I wanted to do it as a nod or a diss to B2, because it looks, to me, it looks very similar to the B2 frame, the Rage, where they give you no room for the terminals. And I think that's a 9-inch spider. And then I think I wanted to do the GONZO Junior motors, but I am very, very low on those. I think I only have like 2 left for building, and I got to order more of those. So, but other than that, these are all, they're all gone. 100 motors up in dust. I do still have some of the other ones from Loader Base. Those are all Loader Base motors. These are all empty though. Jizzed in Arizona. As I say, Jizzed in Arizona by me, Patty Danger of JizzNado Industries. I think that was it. Oh, I wanted to show you the batteries. Let me show you the batteries. Oh, somebody was texting me earlier about Baseaholic said this and blah, blah. I don't really care when people talk shit about me. I actually enjoy it. I'm glad anybody notices me. I grew up the middle child and nobody paid attention to me. So any attention I get is good attention. These are, what is it? D8D XHD. Each one is a 1,155 CCA. These all, the 4 tested good. This one tested bad, but I have it on the charger. And it says it's charging good, but we'll load test it to make sure. But these are only $150 each locally. And then I also have, I think this one's already charged up. I got to figure out a voltmeter or something like that, because I ended up having to push this one for almost 2 miles yesterday, because we ran out. We were able to get two and a half critter cruises done before the battery gave out. These are for sale. These are only $80 each. And then I still have a pallet of these. These are sealed lead acid. They're only $10 each local. You can look up that part number. I don't know how they do it, but like Newark sells these for $80 each. So, but they have a really good shelf life. Oh, I'm also selling these. I'm going to contact these guys. So these are some 3 volt lipo, or not lipo, lithium iron oxide, or is it iron polymer? I can't remember now. Yeah, iron phosphate, that's what it is. These are 6 volt fan cooled little power supplies. I don't know why anybody would charge cells individually. You typically want to charge them all in series, but whatever. But they have the little piggyback thing, so I guess you can, like bring out this, you bring out a bunch of dead heads and then put them all together and then charge individually if you wanted. But those are for sale too anyway. I think that was it. Yeah. And I hope they didn't fucking forget my garbage again today. Look at that sky. Oh my God. That is beautiful. But thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you on the live tomorrow, 4 p.m. Arizona Standard Time. Arizona doesn't participate in that stupid, what do you call it? Nazi time savings or some shit like that. So our clock is always right. all the time. I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun, enjoy that, and then that'll go from 4 to 6. We usually do about 2 hours. It's been a good fit. And then otherwise people start getting weird and bored and start doing dumb shit and jacking off while I'm talking. I'm like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I mean, you can pay me. I mean, if I'm up for it. But again, all your prostitutes, be very nice to them. Just because you're giving them money doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. Okay? Unless they're down for that, right? I'm not always down for that. Who was it? I was watching the TikTok yesterday and this lady was like, the premise was, tell me your work drama, tell me your tea. And this lady worked for like just a couple months at a strip club as a cocktail waitress, and she was doing training, and some girl, one of the girls, the strippers, came and, you know, whispered to the other girl. She's like, oh, he's here? He's here? Oh, I gotta get dressed. And then, you know, whatever, she puts on her bikini or whatever she's going out in. And so anyways, the girl goes into the private room with the guy, and then she comes up with like 10 G's. And I was like, holy shit, what is she doing? Well, and the waitress, the cocktail waitress lady, was like, I got to find out what this bitch is doing for 10 grand. And come to find out, what they do is they take a straw and they stick it up the girl's butt. And then he blows a bunch of air in there, and then she farts right in his face. And he's like, yeah, fart in my face. I'll give you 10 grand. I'm just saying there's a job for everyone. Keep searching if you don't have the job you want. And if you can't find the job you want, create the job that you want. I love you guys.